So it is September 10th, which means that it is World Suicide Prevention Day, a very important day. Fact of the matter is, there's a lot of grief in the world right now, and many people feel alone, without solutions, and think suicide is the answer. And given everything that's going on this year, significantly more people feel this way due to the isolation and, in even worse cases, loss. Loss of family, relationships, employment, sometimes one's business, in addition to a lot of the enjoyment out there. I mean, there's been a lot of events and fun times that are just gone for the entire year. All of this takes a toll, and one is not weak for acknowledging it. In fact, in order to help people and ourselves, we must do so. At the same time, there is still plenty of kindness left in the world, especially when it comes to people. That is something that's been bountiful in Dufferin during the pandemic. And without kindness like this, World Suicide Prevention Day would not be possible. Hi, I'm Josh McKeown with Dufferin News, and suicide is a subject that isn't talked about enough. And sad to say it, COVID is most likely going to result in more of them, just given the isolation and loss that I mentioned earlier. We can't ignore this and just hope it goes away, or it doesn't happen. That's how too many people treated COVID at the beginning, which was foolish. So let's not make the same mistake twice when it comes to the aftermath of COVID. We need people to be kind, reach out to people, listen, and just let them know that they are not alone and that they care. It can be that easy, and you don't even have to say those exact words. All it takes is a tiny bit of effort and caring. Anyways, there's a lot to World Suicide Prevention Day, and to get more details, I was able to chat with Heather Glenister, coordinator for the Suicide Awareness Council of Wellington-Dufferin. We discuss what exactly World Suicide Prevention Day is, how one can participate in it, and how one can help prevent suicide. In addition to this, we talk about the supports that are available to those in Dufferin who may need it, in addition to whether it's crisis support, which the council does not provide, or training on suicide awareness. This is useful information, and big thanks to Heather for providing her time to share it, as it is extremely appreciated. I hope you all enjoy this, and I hope you all learn something. I really do. And again, thank you all for listening to this, because this is an important message, and I am grateful for the time that anyone puts aside to watch this. It's important. Now to start, Heather shares details on what exactly World Suicide Prevention Day is, and we'll go from there. Thanks.
So, if you want to start with World Suicide Prevention Day, it was established in 2003, and it was an initiative of the International Association for Suicide Prevention and the World Health Organization. And the actual date was just selected as September 10th. But the whole idea was to create awareness around suicide. You can imagine in 2003 that the stigma around suicide then was much more than it is even now. So their idea was to get the conversation going and develop some real programs to get people involved. World Suicide Prevention Day is honored through over 50 countries globally. So it is a worldwide initiative. So it's very exciting that we have this and we can share this crucial information across many languages and many cultures.
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, it does affect all cultures, for sure.
Absolutely. And different cultures have different ways of managing suicide. Some are, for example, Japan, it's seen as something that is acceptable, whereas certainly here in Canada, we want to do everything that we possibly can to prevent suicide and bring awareness to that, and also with a focus on life promotion.
Exactly. And just improving quality of life, because, I mean, that's one of the ways how we prevent suicide, right? Is improving quality of life for people.
Absolutely. And that, speaks to, our mental health, resilience, and how we can support that in our own lives and the lives of people around us.
100%. I mean, and I think we've seen the past few months how that's more important than ever, especially coming together as a community and helping each other.
And agree. agreed. And I think one of the things that the council's always been about is that, we can reach out to people and educate and support them, but we also have to reach into them as well. And that's where our communities come in. And, being aware of looking in on your neighbor, looking in on your friends, on your family, and not being afraid to ask the questions, how are you doing? You seem to be a little down, or, some of your, you're doing some things that are sort of out of character. And really being able to ask that question, are you thinking of suicide?
So how does one participate in World Suicide Prevention Day?
So there's a few ways. The Suicide Awareness Council of Wellington-Dufferin, we've been doing a couple of initiatives. The council's actually been around for 20 years, if you can believe it or not. Time really goes by. So this year we decided, because everything is being done virtually, we couldn't do anything in terms of any type of event. So we decided we would do a 10-day photo challenge for people. So there was different subjects for different days. So people were encouraged to take photos of things that are special to them. Did they have a special saying? And then post it to our social media, both Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And also, there's a couple of things that are happening that people are getting involved in. There's a concert that's called Mysterious Barricades. And it is a cross-country concert. It was created by a lady whose son died by suicide. And it is a live concert. There's jazz, there's classical, all sorts of music celebrate suicide prevention and research. So that's kind of cool. The Canadian Association of Suicide Prevention is also doing a webinar tomorrow night at 7. And it's called So You Want to Help Me. And the panelists are actually people who have attempted suicide, and they will share their experience along with a live Q&A. So, and then just, doing Twitter, doing Facebook, and doing Instagram, just getting the message out. There's also another neat thing that everybody can do, and it is, we call it light a candle at 8 p.m. So we encourage people to get that candle out, light it, and put it in a window. And, it shows that, you're supporting suicide prevention, and also give support to those who may have attempted suicide or have lost someone to suicide. So very simple, everybody can do it, and it's a sign of hope and compassion and caring.
100%. I mean, we do need to show support for people. And again, like we mentioned earlier, during this time, more than ever, we realize how important that is, because it's especially tough times for everybody right now.
And that's just it, Josh. Certainly, mental health has become, a big factor in a lot of people's lives. A lot of people, particularly seniors, they can be very isolated, especially in the rural communities of Dufferin. And and also, economic challenges, maybe, people are losing homes, and just the whole back to school process as well is just causing a lot of anxiety, which can turn into depression, which certainly can lead into thoughts of suicide. So you're right, it's even more important for us now to really be aware of those we care about and love.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great that you have, there's going to be a panel of people that have actually had that experience who can kind of speak to it, who are open to it, because there's many people who do not speak about it. So, I mean, you don't get that insight.
Yes. That's right. It's set up by a taboo topic, and, I'm always asked, so what is the best thing to do? I'm not a clinician, I'm not a professional, and I always say that you don't have to be. All you need to do is just talk to somebody. Be caring, be open, create that opportunity. And oftentimes that's the best thing to do. You don't need to have, as I said, a PhD in clinical psychology to be able to help someone.
That's good. That's good to hear, because, that does bring a little bit of hope for everybody, because, everyone does want to help, right? And they often...
For sure.
don't feel like they know how to. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, if it's as simple as talking and just listening and just engaging with people, that's all it takes.
Exactly. And, there's people say, well, if I talk about it, somebody's going to, they're going to, take their life. And statistics show that that's not the case at all. If somebody does, you do ask somebody and they go, oh my goodness, no, I have no intentions of that. They're likely more saying, thank you for caring, thank you for asking.
Exactly. I mean, and again, just showing that you care matters a ton. For sure. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the countdown that's been taking place with World Suicide Prevention Day?
So, in terms of the candle project that the council's been doing, it's been kind of fun. It's been getting people to, just engage in just a very simple way to get the message out there about World Suicide Prevention Day, and also to, it's called "What Do I Live For?" And that's a very powerful message, because a lot of people who are not feeling well, who are maybe having suicidal ideation, it's like, what do I live for? What can help me? And being able to, this challenge is getting people to realize and perhaps even be grateful for the things that they are, that they are living for.
100%. And can you tell me why World Suicide Prevention Day takes place on September 10th?
Actually, there's really no reason why.
Yeah?
I think it was just a date that was, kind of pulled out of thin air. And so it's, it has been going through since 2003. So globally tomorrow, I guess today in some countries, we will be honoring the day. So it's kind of exciting, and because you're being linked with other countries around the world, and you're part of this big, I don't want to say movement, but this big project around the world. People are talking about it, today, which is amazing.
That is because, I mean, again, it's something positive, which is, we need more of that. And
yeah, absolutely, Josh.
So you mentioned this earlier, but like it doesn't take a special kind of person or a special kind of training to help prevent suicide. Again, it just takes engaging.
Not at all. It just takes, sometimes maybe a little bit of courage, because as I said, people often find, I don't know if I can help this person, and really, it's just having a conversation, and then you help them find maybe a friend or another personal loved one, help them find a doctor, whatever happens to get them some help. So you're kind of walking with them on that journey. And in the long run, I've seen people say, wow, that's been, if I didn't have that person in my life, I don't think I would be here today. So again, you don't have to be a clinician, just a caring human being.
Yeah, I mean, and like you're alluding to, like all you got to do is help them improve their quality of life, and that can go a long way, just like even just a little bit, and it can help a ton.
Well, I think the other thing is unique about the council. It is actually made up of organizations and volunteers. So we have, for example, the Wellington-Dufferin involved. We have people sitting on the table that are volunteers from Dufferin County. We have Dufferin Child and Family Services, they're represented, and SHIP is with us. And
that's
so
good.
We all get together, and along with our Wellington partners, and we get together and say, what's really needed? Like, how do we respond to the needs in our community? And so we're more grassroots. Grassroots, it is not quite the right word, but we're sort of boots on the ground projects, and anyone can be involved with us. You don't need to have any special background, just an interest in, helping prevent suicide, bringing awareness to communities. And we do, events, we do, I sit on a lot of different community tables, so I represent the council on various things. And the other piece too is that we do events. We go to we have our booth. I have my booth, and I kind of wander around the community who want to learn more. So it's Yeah, it's a very sort of practical and down to earth group of people who huge skill sets on the council, and we all have a voice. We all get involved, and I think that really again building that big community and working together, which is really what the council's mandate is really all about.
Well, really, I mean, if you're looking for a place to volunteer and you're looking for a worthwhile cause, I mean, that's a pretty worthwhile one right here.
Absolutely, and we're always looking for volunteers to be part of it. We meet formally every second month. And we have a variety of different projects that we have been working on and new projects that we are currently working on. So there's always something to be engaged in, and we welcome everyone, all ages, seniors, teens, middle age. It doesn't matter who you are. If you've got lived experience, mental health, suicide, you're welcome to join us as well. So all are welcome.
That's great. An all-inclusive group again, because I mean everyone's affected by this. Like this matters to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So I saw on the website that you guys provide some training. Can you provide some more details around that, like such as Safe Talk and Assist?
Yes, there's a program that's happening now. All of our programs are out of Living Works. And there's currently an online 19-minute suicide awareness training. And so I certainly encourage anybody to do that. It's it's sort of the basics of how to recognize and how to help somebody who is, perhaps feeling suicidal. There's Safe Talk, which is a 3.5-hour workshop. It is done in person, and it builds on SMART, so it gets into more specifics. And then there's Assist, which is 2 full days of suicide prevention awareness training. So it sort of progresses, and I would encourage anyone to get trained. The more people we can get trained, the better we can respond to people in our communities who may be feeling in a difficult place. So, and for Dufferin, you would connect with Teammate Appeal. They will have links to when they're offering their services, and I know a lot of them are being done virtually right now. So, but that's probably the best way. The council actually doesn't do. We used to train, but we don't do that anymore, simply because CMHAs are taking that on.
100%. Makes sense. So, can you tell us about Elder Talk? Do you know what is that, Elder?
Oh, this is really exciting. About 5 years ago, the council decided that we needed to look into seniors and mental health because they tend to be a forgotten population, which the youth, middle age, but we don't have needs of seniors and suicide, and they tend to be a population where they're very stoic. They don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to acknowledge it, and so we decided. We commissioned playwright Catherine Fred, and she interviewed 15 seniors who had been affected by suicide, whether they themselves had an attempt or they had lost a loved one or whatever that situation was. She took those 15 stories and she gave them into a play called Afterwives. And it's a 40-minute stage play, and it goes through all of those things that thinkers might come across. I'm trying to answer that question, well, why? And it's about a brother who loses his twin sister to suicide, and they're both seniors. And he goes through that whole questioning, well, why? Why would she do that? And she seemed okay. So we talk about that, but then we get to the hopeful part of it, that we can get to the place where we grieve, but we can remember, and that there is hope for people who are who are suicidal, or people who have, as I said, have known someone. So it's a really exciting play in terms of its content. We actually, after the play, we do a half an hour education section, which and links back to some of the themes of the play. So it's sometimes we look at seniors and we go, is mom not eating because she's not hungry, or is mom not eating because she doesn't want to be here anymore? So there's a lot of different signs that seniors display that are unique to them. And this play addresses those, and we've had great feedback about it. And unfortunately, with COVID, we are not able to show it. We were hoping to be able to do it for the end of the month, but as soon as we get the people feel comfortable about getting out there again, we'll be bringing it back. So it'll be it has been in Dufferin several times, so we're excited to bring it back to Dufferin County.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it, because I mean, you're right. Like, it isn't talked about enough, and I mean, it isn't, especially with seniors, it isn't addressed enough. But it is definitely an issue that needs to be addressed.
For sure. And they're often a very forgotten population, and as I said, there's a lot of seniors who live in very isolated areas in Dufferin, and some of them with COVID haven't been out of their house in 5 or 6 months. And what does that do for their mental health, particularly if they're not connected with any sort of internet, or have personal connections that they can reach out to. So it's really important that we look in on them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll take this as an opportunity to plug Teletrack. If you're a senior who is looking to connect with someone, that is a great service to get in touch with.
Absolutely.
And if you know anybody in that situation, it might be good to refer them to. Again, great service, non-profit, completely free, 55 and up.
And the council is also involved with that, and we absolutely agree with that. It's just nice, maybe, to hear a friendly voice on the other end of the line.
100%. I know the volunteers enjoy it too. So you're not putting anybody out.
Yeah, exactly. And they're well trained too.
They are. They got a great staff there, and great volunteers. So you mentioned this earlier, but how does one get involved? I want to make sure it's clear for everyone. How does one get involved with the council, and what does being a council member entail?
So people just call me or email me, and I will reach out to them. And as I said, it's just we all have different skill sets that we bring to the table. We meet every other month. And we sit down, and there's an agenda, because we do have projects that we're working on, but we're always looking for people who, have new ideas that are maybe a part of the community that we're not reaching out to. So everybody is really welcome. So all they need to do is very simple: email me or call me.
Awesome. That's great. That makes it super easy and accepting again.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
There's no application process. There's no security checks or anything like that. It's just you're very welcome at the community table.
Again, a great place to volunteer. Then again, if you're looking for a worthwhile cause, this could be it. So what is the best way to get in touch with the Suicide Awareness Council of Wellington-Dufferin? Is it through you?
Through me, actually. Yeah, that's the best. I'm at Canada, so people can call me. And my direct line is 519-239-8902.
Awesome.
So that they can call me, or they can certainly email me.
Great. I'll make sure I'll provide that information too on the details as well. So is there anything else you'd like to say to the people of Dufferin?
I just think, thank you for, being the people that you are, being, so caring and compassionate, and looking out for each other. And that's really what it is. And there's, there's this revolution of kindness that's happening, and the council members are so grateful for that, for the interest in what you're doing, and just congratulations for that.
Well, it's super important. I mean, getting more awareness out there about suicide prevention is extremely important. I mean, again, a super worthwhile cause, and we need to get we need to have more than just a day of talking about it. That's for sure. And
well, that's exactly it, Josh, that every day is World Suicide Prevention Day.
Exactly. And we're lucky that we do have a council in Wellington and Dufferin specifically here helping with this, because, I mean, helping bring awareness to this, because, I mean, again, it's something we don't talk about enough, and we can't help solve these problems if we don't talk about them. That's the only way we come up with solutions and helping bring awareness to people's, just their issues in general.
Absolutely. And to realize that nobody has to be alone, that there are services, there are people who really care, and we don't have to go through this alone.
No.
So I think that's really important for people to recognize that you're not alone.
So I want to make sure it's clear, because I think I actually skipped over this. The suicide awareness, you guys don't provide crisis counseling services, right?
No.
Okay.
No, we don't. For Dufferin, you would connect with the crisis line for Peel. That's where you would connect with and there's two numbers. On the top of my head, I can't remember what they are.
I'll make sure I'll provide them. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure that I should have made that clear earlier, but I want to make sure that's clear, because there are services out there for people if they need the help. We are very well supported here in Dufferin. It could always be better, of course, but we do have great social supports here in Dufferin. We're lucky.
And we're so really happy that we have a lot of those services on the council. So as I said, we have DCAS, we have SHIP, Family Transition Place. That's a big one right now. We're finding that there is a lot more domestic violence in the communities. So we've got people that can represent that population as well. So we really are sort of a multi-generational, multi-idea council. So which is really exciting. That makes us really unique.
That's good, because I mean, in this year of all years, because I mean, like as you mentioned, like domestic violence is going up. I mean, I imagine addictions. This year will be a tough time for suicides in general, just because of things going on, and just all kinds of issues. So I mean, it is important that we bring awareness to it. We talk about it, and we help provide solutions and a safe place for everyone that does need the help with any of these issues, so we can help solve them and make things better, because it's tough right now. Extremely.
It's very tough. And and unfortunately I think it's going to be even more challenging as we go into the fall and the winter with COVID. So, we have to be even more important, not just reaching out, but looking at our own mental health, saying, where am I at? What do I need to do to be able to support myself? Whether you need, perhaps professional help, or just doing things that you love, and doing some self-care, and just remembering that, it's okay not to be okay.
100%. 100%. I mean, if you were okay all the time during all this, then you're a truly special person. So, you should write a book. But anyways, thank you so much. I mean, because thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, because I mean, I am glad to get some more insights into the World Suicide Prevention Day and the Suicide Awareness Council of Wellington-Dufferin. Again, thank you so much, because I mean, we need to talk about this more. So that's it, folks. I hope you learned as much as I did and realized just how easy it is to help prevent a suicide. You just need to care a little bit and combine that with a little bit of effort. No special education required. Although there is some training if you'd like it, and I'll make sure to link to it in the references, along with the information of all the other supports we mentioned in our discussion. If you need the help, take it. If you can provide the help, there's plenty of opportunities to do so. We talked about two of them, the Suicide Awareness Council and then Teletrack. These organizations both rely on volunteers, and the time you spend with them will make a big difference for people. It is definitely worthwhile. There are plenty more opportunities to volunteer in Dufferin too, so if you think you can be more productive with your time and are looking to make a difference, there are, again, opportunities to do so. Anyways, big thanks to Heather Glenister, coordinator for the Suicide Awareness Council. Your time is very much appreciated, and again, thank you so much for these details. And to you, the audience, thank you all for listening. I'm Josh McKeown with Dufferin News, and until next time, be kind and be thoughtful. Thanks.